Welcome back, ghouls, gals, and creeps and mutants, to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Cody.
And today we're here to remind you that when it is your day off, to actually take the day off.
Yeah, relax. Don't worry about work, because it has been proven that if even on your days off, if you let work stress you out and you're stressing about work and stuff like that, you will not get the rest you need, and you'll be just as tired when you return back. Believe me, I know.
It's a balance, man.
It is.
I've been on vacation this past week, and I've been trying to really just relax, but also keep up with podcast stuff as much as possible. So I've been dedicating like 1 to 3 hours every other day just to keep up with everything. Mm-hmm. And but I'm still like forcing myself to just like actually take majority of my days to do whatever I want and relax. You know? Yeah,
I tried to do that. I tried to give myself like a 3-day weekend not too long ago, and it didn't work. So it's like, I haven't had any time to actually have a day off. Yeah. Just because like shit always comes up, and I'm like, I can never have a day off.
It's rough. It can be rough, man. But you just do your best, people. Actually try to relax. Your mind is a precious, powerful thing, and it also needs to be molded appropriately. And if you're constantly stressing it out, much like a car that you're not turning off, eventually it's going to go out on you. Mm-hmm. Except difference is that you can take your car to a shop and maybe they'll repair it, or you can buy a new one, but you cannot buy a new brain.
No, you can't. Sometimes I wish.
Unless you're mad European scientists or Russian scientists. Well, I guess that still counts. Point being, unless is that you're a mad scientist, then maybe. I mean, I don't know.
No,
I've read a lot of comic books. I think it's possible.
I think so. I mean, Red Skull lived as just a brain for a while.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm trying to think of like every enemy bad guy that I know that's a brain. There's
MODOK.
MODOK.
MODOK's technically just a brain system.
What's the, I can't believe I'm forgetting him. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Krang.
Isn't Krang like basically a space alien brain?
Well, no, he's an actual alien.
Oh,
like that's actually what they look like.
Okay, so well then also there's Doom Patrol. One of their major enemies is just the brain in the helmet. He actually like was on Legion of Doom and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Well, Doom Patrol. The Brandon Fraser's character.
But he's not a bad guy.
I know, but I'm just saying he's a
Robot
brain.
Man.
Yeah, Robot Man. He's a brain.
Man. There's another brain.
Yeah.
Technically Zed, because you can see his brain from Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna make that a thing. It's stretching a little, but I'm gonna make it. But I'm trying to think of like technically Futurama, the episode with the floating braids.
Oh yeah. And we're gonna leave for no raisins!
Curse you, Scooty Puff Jr.
Oh god,
there's a lot of villains that are only brains in like anything sci-fi or fantasy. I just realized that.
Oh, Arnim Zola.
Yeah, there's that one.
Literally turned his brain into the
Brainiac. It's literally in the name.
There's one of those things like fucking Brainiac. And we're like, it's like Arnim Zola, Brainiac. Oh, what is that robot guy from Doom Patrol? Fucking Brainiac!
Just like so. God damn it! You know it exists. Why are you being so dumb?
Jesus.
Trying to think. What the hive mind, isn't it? Kind of no. It's not a brain. No,
that's a queen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple. They did it in Rick and Morty, I think.
I think we should just do the whole episode just thinking about villains who are brains.
Who are just brains.
Yeah, I guess Nixon in Futurama also.
I fucking love Nixon. Yeah. With my brand new body. Get him, Igor.
Oh, technically, Andros and Star Fox, when you get
Andros is just a brain. Yeah, Andros is just a brain.
He turns into a brain at some point.
Yeah. That's his true form. He's not a monkey. He's actually just a brain.
Yeah.
With eyeballs.
There you go. Star Fox. See, video games, fantasy, sci-fi.
Cursed Cowardly Dog, the brain alien who said no and yes, but always would shake his head oppositely.
And like he just whips really hard. Poor Curse. I hated that one. I was like, stop hitting him.
Don't hit him.
He's a good boy.
Good boy.
Stop it.
He's doing the best he can.
I'll throw a Slurpee at you. You're not going to like it.
I'm going to pour salt on your brain.
It's going to be real cold.
It's going to dry you out.
Apparently I talked like that when I was a kid. Parents was like, God, I can't wait for him to hit puberty.
Yeah, seriously. Matt, your balls drop yet?
No, I didn't. I've still got this. I don't have courage right now.
And they're like, whatever, give him another Capri Sun.
Yeah,
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Go in the corner.
Here's some Dunkaroos.
Ah, sweet frosting and cookies.
I want a fun dip. Give me a fun dip.
Give me a fun. I want a snack pack.
Yeah, just freak the fuck out. Again.
Snack Pack's delicious. Sorry.
Yeah, I enjoy Snack
The
Pack.
best out of all the pudding cups that you could get is Snack Pack, hands down. Don't even bring that Jello shit to my house.
No.
It's
Snack Pack.
Snack Pack.
Chocolate vanilla swirl.
Yep.
Yep.
Even their banana one.
Yeah, not bad.
Good, because it's Snack Pack. Snack Pack got their shit together. Unlike Jello.
We are not sponsored by Snack Pack.
Sadly, that's one that I would be happy with. I'd be like, sweet
great.
Snack Pack. Like, could you imagine promoting that on our Instagram? Just like pictures of us getting chocolate off.
Smashing pudding cups in our face.
I'd be like, oh yeah, the Puck Agora podcast, the only pudding we subscribe to is Snack Pack. Just like smash the pudding cup in our face. Just
That'd be great.
just like, Cody, what do you think? And you're like taking two from like you have two that are already open and you're just scooping it with your hands. Just I'm fucking bullshit.
I love pudding.
Have like chocolates flying everywhere.
Audrey would come into the video and be like, Daddy, can I have some pudding? No, it's my pudding. I would just dump the bucket on her and she'd be so happy.
She's like, "Yay, pudding!"
Yeah, she'd be so happy.
And then one day, as our kids finally, ask us why we had this huge ass mansion, they're gonna be like, where'd you get the money? And I'm be like,
Snack Pack money.
Snack. That's why we had to change your middle name to Snack Pack.
Yeah. That's why you got those two middle names now.
That's why we also had to change your middle name, Audrey, to Vanilla Swirl.
Yeah. Audrey Vanilla Swirl Brungart.
Yeah, so Snack Pack, if you want to hook us up with that mansion, we'll definitely make fools of ourselves for your pudding.
We'll do it. Do it.
Look, people can call us salads and whatnot, but the one thing I'm willing to make exceptions for is food.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's certain foods that we're not going to make the case for, but most often than not...
Like cannibals.
Yeah. to be specific, I guess. Or I guess, anything that's, improperly killed, or if it's a terrible company, or what have you.
Yeah.
But, point being...
Speaking of that, what's funny? Because of this whole entire, the global pandemic and stuff like that,
Yeah.
China's now banned eating dogs and cats. All considered special meats, exotic meats to them and stuff like that.
In Asia, yeah,
not allowed.
Well, no, I shouldn't say Asia, China at least, as far as I know. Yeah,
yeah, is now illegal. I'm like, oh well.
Yeah,
at least now I won't have to worry about patches.
That's a rough issue, man.
Yeah.
Because when I was in college studying about the environment, one thing that we had to look at was cultures and how they view their stewardship towards the environment. Mm-hmm. And so the subject of I think it was Japan and China came up talking about how Japan mostly hunted whales, and China, like you just said, is known for considering dog and cat to be exotic meats. Mm-hmm. Our teacher, made a really good point. Our instructor at the time was just like, that is really terrible, but the issue with this is how do we go into a culture and try to get them to realize this is wrong without also being hypocritical of the fact that we eat cows and that's considered a sacred animal in other cultures.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, when you put it like that, that's a good point.
Aw,
and
man.
the arguments well, cats and dogs can be, a man's best friend. Well, so can
cows. Any animal can eventually become one.
And also whales. We don't want that to happen to whales. So it's funny because unneedingly so, the subject comes back to the solution being vegetarian. And I'm not.
Fuck that.
I'm not saying anyone be vegetarian. I'm not trying to plead anything, but it is just an interesting viewpoint to consider when you're talking about animal abuse and what is right and what is wrong. I mean, if we're going to come down on China for eating cats and dogs, then we have to be just as we have to be just as critical about ourselves with what we eat, because there's a lot of animals that we eat that are considered not to be eaten in general. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man, it's just really It's really interesting if you think about it.
I think so too.
But that aside, let's jump into what we're talking about today. First and foremost, thank you guys again for continuing to support us. If you want to go check out our Teespring store, we still have new shirts and new merch available. We also have new stickers up there that were created by Freddie, and they are in likeness to our Grumpy Cat, our mascot Grumpy Cat, mostly Cody's patches. So there's some hilarious stickers on there. They will definitely come in a bundle, so make sure you check those out as well. But yeah, so this past Tuesday we talked about Richard Ramirez, Night Stalker, and so today was a little rough trying to figure out the movies, and we'll get into that when we get to that segment. But we are going to be making the case for movies that are in relation to our Tuesday theme. But before we do that, we're going to jump into our segment, something we love. And hey, if you are new to the show, this is the part of the show where we talk about something in the that's happened in the past day, week, or month that we have noticed and want to talk about it. It can be anything that is big, to political meanderings, to just something small of somebody saying no or please or no thank you or anything, you know, just being rude to us, and that would be rude, right? And that's something we want to vent about. I guess I should add more context to that, because I just realized, like I just said, that someone saying no to us would be rude. I'm like, okay, that's not what I mean. I more so meant to say, like, if
they said no, you fat piece of shit, then like, we'd probably vent about it.
This basically, I mean, is like lack of manners. I totally worded it badly. So that's my. You better not say rude, say no to me, or else I'm gonna think you're fucking rude.
Yeah, you're a rude motherfucker.
Why would you say no?
No means hurt feelings.
Yeah.
It's probably what a lot of creepy guys think.
Piece of shit. Like, that's all I can do. So, Matt, what do you love this week?
So originally I was going to make my thing that I hate this week about astrology signs. Well, not really astrology signs, but people using astrology signs to excuse their own bad behavior. But I think I'm going to save that for our next Friday episode, because what I want to talk about today...
You know, one of our listeners is like, you son of a bitch.
It's coming. And trust me, I have a good argument against it. So, again, I'm not attacking you in particular. I'm attacking your choices to not own who you are. So we'll go over that. We'll go over that next time. Right now, what we want to talk about is a little more important than that.
Yeah.
Well, very more important, I should say.
This kind of just, like, started popping up and everything, like, recently. And it's something we feel like we really need to talk about.
Yeah, so have you heard of what maps are? And I'm not talking about, like, the traditional maps, what we know.
Google Maps?
Yeah.
No.
So, MAPS is an acronym that stands for, which, by the way, before I continue going on forward, trigger warning, what I'm about to go into does touch on the subject of child abuse. So if that is something that does trigger you, please take care as I continue moving forward with what I'm talking about. But MAPS is an acronym that stands for Minor Attracted Person. This is a group of individuals. It's also known as NOMAPs or NOMAP.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you know what NAMBLA is, it's super similar to this.
Yeah. So what it is that it's this group of people that recognize that they are attracted to prepubescent minors or minors in general, and swear that they would never hurt or abuse a child, but are trying to be an advocate for people like themselves. And here's the thing, man. So the sensitive nature of this, I'm going to try to navigate as best as I can. Mm-hmm. But first and foremost, if you are a person who is attracted to a child and you think it is okay to advocate for that and to find solidarity within others, I need you to know this right now, and I really do mean this. You are a fucking monster. Yep. You need to get help. And now here's the thing.
I'd be more extreme about it, but
here's the thing. People might be getting
more sensitive.
Well, because I'm just trying to be careful with what I say.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I might react impulsively and go off the deep end with just berating these people.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to act with some sort of dignity.
Because we have a time limit.
Yeah. That's true.
We can't dedicate an whole episode.
But the fact of the matter is, if you are somebody that you are aware that you have an attraction towards minors, that's something you don't advocate for, that is something you don't find solidarity within others for, that is a sign that you do need to get some serious help. And if you genuinely want to be a better person, you need to go through the right facets to fix who you are. And I know a lot of times when we're on here, we talk about, you know, being okay with who you are and so, accepting your mental health.
The whole
but we're talking about
no kink shame shit like this.
But we're talking about things that don't harm others, that, you know, are that don't have the potential, or, you know, aren't trying to harm others. These people are legitimately trying to advocate even for schools to start teaching consent and sexual activity to kids, and that idea is just so fucked up to me.
That's disgusting.
You can find a majority of them on Twitter with Twitter accounts because that's how they kind of stay a little more anonymous. And a lot of
find them and harass the shit out of them until they fucking disappear.
So the fact that
these sick motherfuckers.
Fact of the matter is that the thing we do not tolerate Nazis. We don't tolerate you know, any type of racism, transphobia, homophobia, sexism. You know, and especially this is definitely in that category.
For me, this is all the way to the top for me. Like just being a dad.
Yeah.
Oh my God! If I fucking had one sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Calm down.
But the fact of the matter is, man, is that I don't care how fucking genuine of a person you are, being attracted to children and thinking
that's okay,
and thinking that there's a way that you can make that okay, it is so wrong. And I don't care what every other country lives by. I don't care what anyone lives by. Even if you're not a parent, it's just fucked up. And if you are a MAP or you support MAPs, I'm gonna kindly ask you to stop listening to our show and go fuck yourself and get yourself some help, because that is not okay. And honestly, in my opinion, you're just your life means nothing to the rest of humanity, because that is such a disgusting thing.
Literally a shit state.
So I know that, like, I get it. Everybody's just like, okay, we get it, guys. You're coming down really hard, and you know you're just
no. I don't give a shit. They touch kids. Fuck them. Now we'll move on.
But point being is that this is a movement that is getting more traction. Be careful how these people disguise themselves. Be careful how they talk to themselves, because there's still being more known about this. If you follow any cringe pages, there's usually a lot of cringe pages that makes fun of these people and outs them. And so I support those cringe pages as do. I do follow one. I am part of one, and so I use it to help keep track of who these people are, because I mean it's just wrong. It's it's wrong with the fact that in Hollywood that there's this huge scandal of Epstein and all those celebrities, man, like, if we're not willing to make the case for them, if we're not willing to, say, hey, they, they're pieces of shit, then everybody else is. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or not.
No, I don't care.
You
Second you say I'm attracted to that minor, you're a piece of shit in my book, and I hope you fucking die.
Seriously. So whether it's blood on the dance floor, Lost Prophets, or just some rando, y'all can go fuck yourselves. And I really, really do hate you.
Yep.
We both do.
Now let's talk about a little bit up.
Going up. Bringing up the spirits.
Coming back, driving it back from all those evil motherfuckers that should be dead by now. Let's talk about something we actually love.
All right, so talking about just something we love. Well, why don't you take it away? Because I feel like I did it a few times.
So I had a really, really hard week, and I was gonna kind of talk about this for something that I hate, but I can't. I probably shouldn't yet.
No.
So, but the thing I love this week, so because this is such a hard week, like I had such a rough week. But Audrey, she's been such a little beacon of light for me this entire week, just being uber cute and being super respectful with me and being super nice. And of course she has her moments. She's a 3-year-old where we kind of go at it a little bit, but she's been super attached to me, and it's been awesome. And so one thing and it just really, that's gotten me through this week, is just my time with my kid. And one thing that I really loved was that, so she's super into Peter Pan right now.
Yeah.
Really into Peter Pan. And so Dev asked her what she wants to be for Halloween. And Audrey's like, I want to be Peter Pan. And then she's like, what do you want Mommy to be? And she's like, I want you to be Captain Hook. And my mom was like, okay, what about Daddy? And so Dev was telling me because she texted me all this, because I was at work, and it really got me through my day, was that she was saying Audrey was, she was expecting Audrey to say maybe Smee, or maybe one of the Lost Boys, or even the Crocodile. No, Audrey was like, Daddy's going to be Tinkerbell. And I texted Dev, I'm going to rock the shit out of that tutu.
Nice.
I'll totally do that.
Yeah, I'm totally. This is my time.
Yeah, this is my time. I've always said, no matter what, growing up, when I become a dad, if my son or daughter wants me to dress up as a princess for Halloween to go trick-or-treating with them, you're goddamn right I'm wearing that dress.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna rock the shit out of it. I love my calves.
Ladies, be jealous.
And so, that just really, like, that's what got me through my week. It's just my daughter's just been so awesome this week and such a good girl this week and just, like, really keeping me up. She's actually really helped me stay out of my depression with just like how interactive she's been with me. I've been like making a point every day, no matter how tired I am at work, to at least play with her for like 30 minutes to an hour of like actual playing.
Yeah.
And like after work, because when I get home from work, it's a little bit before bedtime for her. So that's kind of just how it's been. So it's been really nice. I've loved it. I just love spending time with my daughter.
Right on, man. I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for me, it's somewhat in the same ballpark in that, like, coming back to the fact that, like, I have been on vacation. I've been trying to make it a actual thing, for an objective for myself to just like live in moments that I've had where it was like either I'm at a movie night with some friends and I don't really want to be in a conversation. I just want to be in that moment, hearing conversations and watching the movie and just being happy with being content. And so with those like good times, so like there's just been a lot of that I've been going through. And I've been playing this board game called Betrayal, which we talked about on Tuesday with my parents. I've been playing with friends, and honestly, man, it's just like I've been spending some good time, bonding time with a lot of people. Like even the other night, me and you, like I had you watch Primal for the first time.
Yeah, that show's tight.
Yeah, the new show from Gennady Tartakovsky.
That first episode, man, like that broke my heart the entire time. I was just sitting, like, as badass as it was, I was just sitting there like, man, I can...
Right?
Fuck.
Right? It's good.
Fuck.
It's a good
no
show.
Words. No words. And I was just like, I don't know if I can watch the second episode.
You can't.
I know,
It's
I'm
good.
going to. It's fucking great. But I was just like, it's just so rough.
Yeah, it's a good
But
show.
it's fucking badass.
It's on HBO Max. It's only 5 episodes right now. There are going to be another 5 that come out, I think, some point this year or next year. But yeah, it's a badass show. It's like you can get through it pretty quick. But like this is now probably the 3rd time I'm going through it, just because it's just like the animation is so crisp.
Yeah.
The storytelling is just it's so good. Like it comes back to the good old days of not needing dialogue to tell a good story. And so like. And you get to see that between like a caveman and a dinosaur that are trying to just like
coexist.
That they bond, but like they bond over tragedy.
Over tragedy and body, and they talk through body motions and stuff.
Body language.
That's what I liked the most. Was like they like straight up. It was all body language between him and the one dinosaur that they end up teaming up and shit. And it's like so cool.
Like they know,
they're like, I know how you feel.
Like they're
we are the same.
Yeah, they end up teaming up together. It's like the most badass way.
Not gonna lie.
So goddamn Martha.
So when the fucking dinosaur was laying down at the end of the episode to like team up, when they were about to actually become a team, even though they were already teaming up and stuff, the only thing I could imagine was just that episode of How It Should Have Ended Super Cafe with Mario, where the dinosaur lays down and looks at the caveman, just goes and pretends to be Mario and goes, "We are the same." Like, we are the same. We are superheroes.
Yeah, man, it's a fucking badass show, and I really want more people to watch it because just in general, Gennady Tartakovsky is just such an imaginary person. He's also the same guy that did Samurai Jack, just to kind of like give a reference.
I'm excited for that game. I want to play that.
Yeah.
Samurai Jack Travel Through Time or whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be tight. But yeah, no, it's such a good show. Primal is definitely like one of the it's another reason why you should subscribe to HBO Max. Not that they sponsor us or anything. But like on average, I feel like HBO Max has a bit better content as compared to Disney Plus.
Well, it's got better adult content, like because it has a lot of like the thing I like about HBO Max is like the cartoons that are on there, the animation and stuff.
Yeah,
it's shit we grew up with. Like outside of because like with Disney, it's like it's nice, but I never watched the Disney Channel.
Yeah,
I always watched Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, so that's why I like HBO Max a lot. So because like the Cartoon Network shows on there are badass. Adult Swim is
I would argue that there's better kids content on HBO Max because not only is it classic
and
Cartoon
Sesame
Network,
Street.
Yep, Sesame Street as well.
Studio Ghibli.
They have a good family section, Studio Ghibli. There's some good like kid appropriate animes and whatnot. Where I just like, and like, here, I love my kid, but don't get me wrong, she has Netflix, Hulu, Amazon.
Yeah, she don't need Disney Plus.
That all has kid selections.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So,
I know.
So I can say that I can have HBO Max for myself. All right.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying. Fair,
I'm keeping Disney Plus mostly because I love all the Marvel content on there, and I can't wait. And Audrey's been watching Superhero Squad with me.
Oh yeah.
And then, but on Netflix, that's what me and her will mostly just watch Netflix together because we'll watch Avatar, and we're almost done. Oh, it's so good, man. We're like near the end.
Guess what? This month, I think...
I know, Legend of Korra. I'm so excited.
I think it's like time of this recording is the second. I think it's like in 2 days or a week.
Yeah.
2 days to a week.
I'm so excited about that, dude.
Finally.
Because like it's funny too. Because whenever like. Audrey knows how to kind of break me when she's in trouble and like needs to like start calming down and stuff. And we're like, "We're gonna go on timeout. You need to calm down." She goes, "Avatar?" And I'm like, you little, yeah, let's go finish it. They're like, "I want to know how Aang does it."
How far are you in it now?
What was the last episode I watched?
Did you finally met Toph, right?
Yeah, we're past Toph. She's already metal bending.
Oh, okay. You're pretty far along.
Yeah, we're in the final season.
Oh, so you're book 4 or no, book 3.
Book 3. Yeah, we're book 3. Bossing Say fell.
Okay. They liberated it.
Yes.
So, well, I don't know because I can't remember where exactly that episode lies.
Okay, so the fucking dude who was like controlling everything, he lost. Fire Nation already took over Bossing Say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where we're at. And Zuko, his sister, and the 2 girls like went to this house party, and they all finally opened up about
the Fire Island or the Ember Island episode.
Yeah, I think that was the last one we watched where they finally all kind of opened up about why they're all fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, even though you know what? I don't give a shit who like tries to make a case for his sister. Like, she's still a bitch.
Like, when it wraps up, you're gonna feel a little sorry for her. Like,
I'm starting to ish, but like.
Well, here's what I would say to keep not to make the case for her, but like keep devil's advocate in the sense is she was the prodigy child who her father loved. But never got love from her mother, and there's a special bond between a daughter and a mother.
Well, yeah, but it was flip flop because Zuko wanted the love from his father and only got it from his mother. Like but I know why it makes her like more angry because the dad was the angry one, and the mom was the more comforting one and stuff.
Yeah,
but
mom was nurturing.
Yeah,
and Azula wanted nurture. She wanted to be nurtured like Zuko was. There was this theory going around which I didn't really buy into just because I honestly didn't care enough to just look into it.
Yeah.
But there was this one theory that Zuko is actually on the spectrum.
I could kind of see it.
Well, it's because with a couple episodes with like the turtle duck, somehow that like plays into place with it. I don't remember. I honestly, don't know. Like I said, I didn't really read into it because I just didn't care to.
I mean, the only reason why I could kind of see it is just because of like, you know, his temper tantrums and how like flip floppy he is, and like he can never really stick with one thing. And the only reason why I say like that could put him on the spectrum in a sense, and it's not the spectrum he was born like that. I think it's more along the lines like he ended up getting like that. You know, he needs the mental help for it.
Yeah,
but I don't know. My whole thing is like, this is just because I'm the youngest. Moms tend to be more babying towards the baby. You know, the younger of the 2.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of think that was probably why she was more attached to Zuko. And moms generally attach more to the sons than daughters, and dads usually attach more to the daughters than the sons.
And I don't think he's on the spectrum. Like, not to try to take away anything from anyone, but I just I think it's still just more that he had a lot of mental anguish due to a lot of inner turmoil. I mean, because think about it. Like, so he was used to his mom being nurturing, that got taken out of his life. So he tried getting love from his father, at the same time, who scarred him and it gave him trauma, and
then banished him.
But then you have Iroh, who is the better father figure, and
Iroh. He's all ripped right now.
Yeah,
I was like, you go.
I know. You finally get to that point where he's getting out of prison.
Yeah, he's all swole. I was like, damn, swole Iroh.
That was a good episode where he's just like,
he hasn't gotten out yet. I just noticed he's all swole right now.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's getting ready. It's gonna be dope.
I'm super stoked, man. My favorite part is when he like steps in between everyone. And he's like all being funny, and they're like, "We're gonna take you down, you traitor." And he's like, "Do you not remember why I'm called the dragon?"
Yeah.
And it just lights everyone.
Yeah, he's like, "Bitch." Please.
God, I love Uncle Iroh so much.
There's gonna be an episode that happens with Azula though that you're just gonna. I can't say anymore that you're
I know, I'm excited.
But I get it's not the fight with Zuko.
I will say, though, I don't hate any of the characters. Like, she's a B, but I love her character. They did everyone in this is so good. The only people I truly hate was the guy from Bossing Say.
Yeah, Great Elise does a fantastic job as Azula. Like, she's just like iconic voices, which really fun fact, really quick, is because we got to move on.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much you've seen of Legend of Korra, but you're eventually.
I've only seen an episode or two.
Okay, well, are you aware of like Aang's grandchildren are a major part of like the whole series?
Yeah.
Right. Well, anyways,
so Korra, is that Aang's?
No, she's just the new Avatar.
Okay.
Yeah. So it goes air, water, earth, fire, air, water, earth, fire for each Avatar. It's that sequence.
I thought Korra was somehow related to them.
She is, because she ends up getting guidance from Aang's son.
Okay.
So,
okay. I'll see. Well, I'll see it.
Yeah, you'll see it when it comes out. But anyways, the eldest granddaughter is actually voiced by. I was memorizing the name, but the actress who plays Sabrina in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that actress. She's so good.
She did the voice for the eldest granddaughter.
Nice. I want to see her in more stuff. I like her.
Yeah, she's actually been in a lot of stuff, and a lot of indie horror stuff too. Believe it or not. But yeah, I also didn't realize this because as I was doing just research on like Avatar stuff, when I was doing research on her, there was actually a moment where I didn't realize this, but she gets mistaken as Emma Watson because they have very similar facial features.
I could see it.
So yeah, I thought that was also just a pretty cool fact. All right, but coming back to
our chunk.
Yeah. And
our meat.
Last thing, sorry, just because I'm now the Fire Lord Ozai. Did you know he's voiced by Mark Hamill?
No shit.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Fucking God, I love Mark Hamill.
Now I'm done.
Okay.
Now I'm done. I'm sorry. We're just gonna make this whole episode about Avatar. But anyways, so jumping into it, we're gonna go ahead and review our movies. And that was our segment, something we love and hate. Sorry, we went on like a bigger tangent than we totally meant to.
Sorry, we brought up Avatar.
Look, man, we started with something heavy. We got to bring on some good stuff. Yeah. Avatar's a good one. That was a good one to finish on.
Uncle Iroh. Dude, it made me sad with the fact that song, the last song where he's singing, is where the voice is the last recording of the voice actor.
Yeah, because he died from cancer.
And he was singing about himself and his son, and his actual son. I was like, oh God.
Well, the picture that's used, the actual picture that Iroh is singing to, is actually it's a sketch of the actor himself.
I know.
And well, here's the thing: he actually served too.
I know. So, that's why I was like, God.
Right.
Why Avatar's so good?
And to top it off, the voice actor that reprised the role after his passing never sings that song in respect to him.
Good.
Like when fans
that.
When fans ask him to do it, he's like, I won't do it. That's
good.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's respect. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Right on, man.
All right.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Respect.
All right. Now that we got done talking about some heartfelt moments, let's jump into the meat and talk about some some fucked up people in movies.
Right. So to kind of clarify, believe it or not, besides the film that's coming out with James Franco, prizing the role as Richard Ramirez as the Night Stalker, there's not really a lot of good movies about the Night Stalker.
No,
I mean,
there's two with Lou Diamond Phillips, and that's all I could find.
The one that stands out the most is I think it's 2016 or 2019 one with Lou Diamond.
It's 2016 or 2014.
Yeah, either way, it's the most recent one, and it's called The Night Stalker. It's Lou Diamond Phillips, prizing the role as Richard Ramirez.
Surprisingly looks like him.
Yeah, right. Thankfully, he's not.
Yeah.
Him. But,
thank God.
But coming back to it, so, we had to figure out what are good movies to review because, we can't find any good documentary movies. We can't find any good bio based off of.
Yeah. And so we didn't want to do Satanism because that's going to be a whole subject on its own.
And also because Richard Ramirez mostly used the creed of Satanism to his own advantage and took liberties with it, and go
ahead.
Not that I'm a Satanist or anything, so I have no idea how accurate his shit was. Yeah, not
very.
Yeah,
I did some research on Satanism, and it really wasn't that very. Yeah. And my old coworker Garrett, he knew a lot about Satanism because he had a lot of friends who were into it, and he was like, that's not what Satanism is.
Yeah, if I remember right...
we'll go into it when we actually do the episode, what Satanism is.
Yeah, the most I know from it is from the documentary I saw, so...
Yeah. But also, so I kind of have a theory of why there's not a whole lot of, movies about Ramirez like there is about Ted Bundy, Ed Gein... Dahmer and even Gacy, is because you couldn't, it's gross, you can't romanticize Richard Ramirez.
Yeah.
Because you can romanticize Ted Bundy because there was still that small ounce of humanity in him with the fact even though you shouldn't. But he's romanticized in the fact. When I say romanticize, what I mean is making like a super Hollywood film out of it, like what you would expect out of a Hollywood film.
The viewers are aware.
And so that's what I mean by romanticize. With Richard Ramirez, you legitimately can't, unless you make a straight up horror film, which I'm actually surprised no one's actually done except for the new Diamond Phillips one. Like you can't really romanticize him like with Ted Bundy. The movie I did with Zac Efron, it was all from the girl's point of view, and so that's how you can romanticize him because he showed he had humanity when it came to Richard Ramirez. He never showed it.
Well, humanity.
So I think that's my theory of why there isn't.
So coming back to it though,
we had to find movies that were either similar to his MO, which is. We kind of felt gross saying it like that, but that's kind of like how we started searching, and we also just kind of looked for movies with serial killers that kind of did, I guess, so basically like how he kind of did.
Basically, we based our research off of movies of things he did, such as either home invasion films or people killing in the name of Satan, but we didn't go for things that are like torture movies because we would be having to go to more just snuff type of territory.
Yeah, and we already did that.
Yeah, we already did our snuff movies, and we kind of made the claim that we're not going to really review snuff films, especially if it's an actual snuff film.
Yeah.
And also because torture porn films are hit and miss. There's some that are really good, but
some that are really bad.
More often than not, they only try to go for a shock factor of just doing like the most twisted stuff that you can imagine, just to get that cringe out of you. And so that doesn't really quantify the movie being good, as it's more just a ride in a sense. But the ride kind of ends short. So that's why we. So come back to it. That's again why we did our movies a little differently this time. And yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it. I'm trying to remember. I feel like. Did you go first last time? I don't know why I'm just basing
I'll go first. I'll just go first.
Okay.
We'll make it easy this time.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so how I found my movies, I tried to find something on I tried to find one where the serial killer in L.A., but I also found it similar IP. So like the fact that because he stalked people, Richard Ramirez would stalk people, then he'd break into their house and do everything in their house and stuff like that. So I found a small little gem called The Watcher. Came out in 2000. It stars Keanu Reeves, Marissa Tomei, and James Spader. The synopsis is: David is a serial killer of young women. Joel was in charge to catching him in L.A. He moved to Chicago a broken man. So did David, and sends him photos of his next victims 24 hours before the murders. It was directed by Joe Charbonnick. Written by Darcy Myers and David Elliott, and I already said who already stars. That was mostly because I love Keanu Reeves. And
the Reeves man.
The Reeves man. And this, oh my God, is a movie, straight up 2000s movie. Like you just get it from the beginning, and I fucking loved it. Because I know I've seen a couple reviews of that about it, and it's like, it's alright. But I fucking love this movie. So the reason why I say it, you can tell instantly from the beginning that is going to be a 2000s movie, because it starts off with that weird slow-mo, like they still have like the oh my God, the drift behind the character, you know, when you move and you still see like their arm kind of behind them in the slow-mo type thing. Yeah, so you just see that of this dude running. It's James Spader's character running, chasing after Keanu Reeves' character, and it's all in this like weird shot, slow-mo, like with the new metal playing in the background, and then it really gets off when you start seeing these SWAT guys and stuff like descending from a helicopter, and all of a sudden Dragula just starts blasting in the background. It shows Keanu Reeves turn around, little baby face Keanu Reeves, 20 years ago, just dancing with a gun and shit, and all this slow-mo, and it's doing like the flash, like the light flares and flashing, like it's super 2000s, man. Yeah, basically, like he's like dancing and shit. He's like Dracula, and the dude's like the cops kick in the door through the slow-mo, and then it like flashes white. Like it's just, oh, I loved it just because of like all right, this takes me back to the old times. Like I said on last episode, I've been getting really into watching 2000s movies and stuff, and like this is why it's just so over the top and great. And then so after that, it starts off. James Spader is fucking awesome.
It's James Spader.
Yeah, like, holy shit, he's so good in this movie. Like, so it's a great open... After all that, it goes into showing James Spader talking to Marissa Tomei, who's his therapist.
Tomei some more.
And he just does such a great job of being this intense, broken, depressed character. And he has so much knowledge of Keanu Reeves' serial killer. And, like, he just knows everything about him, but he was broken because he just couldn't catch him. Like, he almost caught him in the beginning. It shows in the beginning, and then it also shows flashes of, like, the incident of when he almost caught him. And so, like, it just kind of shows all this stuff. And, like, and so he starts talking about Keanu Reeves' character, and this is where I started, like, linking Keanu Reeves' character to, like, Richard Ramirez's M.O. Because his character would... stalk his victims, he'd watch them, he'd learn their routes, and like James Spader goes into all this, he'd learn their routines and stuff like that, and you just see Keanu Reeves' character, Griffin, you would see him watching his next victim, writing when she was going to be alone and stuff like that, and he would break into their homes, and just like Richard Ramirez did in the hotels, he'd wait in their homes for them. So he'd be hiding in the background somewhere where you couldn't see him. And then Keanu Reeves does such a great villain. Like, honestly, I feel like this is a little bit of like a hidden gem for him being a villain, because like, you know, he's soft-spoken in general, and he does that whole like,
and he usually does like a hero in some sort of facet, like if not just like a grumpy hero. And
in this, like, it was pretty much, it's kind of like precursor to Constantine. Like, you could almost see like where he kind of would be in the mindset of when he was going to play Constantine and stuff, even though that comes out of several years later. But he does such a cool job of using that his bro like kind of talk. You know how he always does like this. And like talks like,
kill you.
I'm a mass murderer.
I'm there to stab you in your face.
Yeah, bro. But like the way he kind of like takes that and makes it super creepy. And so when you see him taking on killing his first victim, like he does such a good job and just over accentuates everything. Like he's dancing with her and shit like that.
He's very theatrical.
Yeah, and he's dancing with her, and then you see him dancing with her dead body with blood dripping on the ground and shit like that. I was like, damn, Keanu. Damn. Like, which is really good.
Righteous.
So they kind of trick you in the beginning. So all that like badassery that you have in the beginning with the cops swarming down, that actually takes place near the end, because all of a sudden you start seeing James Spader's character Campbell. He's having nightmares of what happened from that fire from the beginning and him trying to catch Keanu Reeves. And then it shows this really great scene where Keanu Reeves is washing his hands of the blood of this victim that he literally just killed. Yeah. And he's looking in the mirror, and it's like he's talking to Campbell. It's like he knows he's talking to Campbell, and he's like telling him how he almost got caught. Like, he was like, you almost had me, and that was my greatest hour. That was my finest hour, because you almost had me, but you couldn't. And so...
You just couldn't.
Yeah. And, one other character that was in this movie that made me really excited and just made me love it so much more, Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
he pops up in the movie, and it's fucking great. He's so great in this, too. And so, you finally learn that James Spader's character, Campbell, he's done with Keanu Reeves, a serial killer. He moved to Chicago. That's why he moves to Chicago. He's like, I can't handle this guy anymore. Like, it's because of him, like, he's on all these, like, drugs that he has to take because of his high blood pressure and his depression and his anger and all this stuff, all because of what Griffin did to him. And so he starts talking to the other police officer, like, so there's a murder in his building, and it's literally the girl who died is the unit right under him. Yeah. And so he's like, he followed me. Like, he's like, motherfucker, he followed me here. Because all of a sudden he gets a picture of the next victim. Like, and Keanu Reeves calls him and says, you have 24 hours to find this girl before I kill her. And so it turns into this whole cat and mouse thing where, like, Campbell, like, finally breaks and, like, is going to becoming a part of the case again and everything, because he's like, I have to find this girl. I can't let him kill her again. And they do this really cool thing. Like, I feel like they did really good. They set up a really good cat and mouse of, like, where is she? Where is he with her? And shit like that. Because he takes a pic, because, like, it does a really good job of, like, actual detective work and like how they would try and find these loner women, because all the women that Keanu Reeves' character kills are women that have no one. You know, they're loners. And that's why he gets them, is because there's no one who's going to miss him. Like, that's what his thought process is.
He's being careful to make sure to not create a trail.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, that's the whole entire thing. And again, no one knows what the Watcher looks like. Just like Richard Ramirez, they knew his MO, they knew everything he was doing, but they knew who, like...
I know who he is, it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, but we know, but they don't in the movie. and that's one thing they do really good in this movie, is that they do a really good job of the fact that the cops don't know who it is.
Yeah.
And so there's this scene after like the entire craziness of the first victim. You guys got to go watch that movie. This scene's really good, of like, they just barely miss her and stuff like that. And he ends up getting into all that stuff. It's a cool scene. It's really intense. And then there's this super, super intense scene where Griffin follows Campbell to his therapist's office. And he's in the elevator with Campbell. And he even like makes it a point, like he's like kind of touching him and like, excuse me, getting in front of him and shit like that. Trying to see if he knows who he is. Yeah. And like Keanu Reeves does such a good job of like, hey, oh, excuse me. Oh, hey, bro. It's like...
It's okay, man, righteous.
Righteous. Like, and James Spader's character's just like, I fucking hate you. Like, he's just saying, like, don't look at me. I've had a rough day. And, like, it's really cool. They do such a great job. I will say, though, one of my biggest critiques with this movie is you could tell they cut certain scenes out that probably would have made the movie better. Like, you could just see the cuts were a little eh. So, but that's one of my cons about it. Other than that, like, it's such a fun popcorn film, like, cool thriller and stuff like that. And so you get to the second Jane Doe, and her boyfriend, her boyfriend fucks her so bad. Yeah. Because, so when they're trying to find her and stuff, and it's coming to the end when she's about, like, the time limit's almost down and everything, because Keanu Reeves' character, again, takes a picture of her and sends it to James Spader's character, or Campbell, and he's like, you have 24 hours to find her. And you know, and he's like messing with him. He's telling Campbell, or Griffin's telling Campbell, like, pretty much the whole Joker Batman dynamic. He's like, I can't do this without you, because he opens up and says, I killed women when you left LA, and it just wasn't the same.
I miss you.
Yeah, he's like, I miss you and you miss me. Like type thing. And then
we used to be righteous together.
Mm-hmm. And so this is one scene, this is one of my cons that always happens in these movies. I don't know why, but it always happens in these movies, and this is my biggest con. So her boyfriend, like, is going about, and he runs into James Spader's character, Campbell, when they're trying to find this girl. They're handing out pictures of her and stuff like that, you know, to everybody. And he hands him a picture. He's like, have you seen this girl? And he goes, fuck you, man, I don't know. And he runs off. I'm like, you fucking moron. Like, come on. Like, that was just one of those moments where, like, don't run. Just don't help them. And, of course, since he didn't do that, like, it ends up getting her killed. I was super upset about that. Oh, another con that I have in these movies is, so there's this scene before Campbell is getting, he's helping out another cop. He calls him on his cell phone, and the cop's in this super high-octane car chase, and he answers the phone. Like, and it's, like... And it's early 2000s phone, so it's not like touchscreen, you know, Bluetooth, whatever. It's fucking a big-ass flip phone, and he's talking to him throughout this entire car chase and shit like that. And that bugs me, because, like, James Spader's character is even like, are you busy right now? I was like, nah, I'm just chasing someone. And, like, I don't know why that bugs me so much. It's just, like, focus on your job, yo. Like, you can call him later.
Dude, come on, man.
That's another con of mine. The ending is freaking super... 2000s. Like, it is exactly how a movie would end back then. Like, I'm pretty certain this is where Michael Bay, like, got all of his inspirations, because there's this, like, awesome scene where Griffin and Campbell and Marissa Tomei's character are all in the same room. It's the room from the very beginning, when you have Dracula playing, and so instead it's another Rob Zombie song playing during this entire fight scene, and it ends with just this mass explosion that was like, I don't think you needed to kill a serial killer like that. You probably could have just shot him and it would have done the same thing. But it's the 2000s. You gotta go over the top.
It's explosions or nothing.
Yeah, there's just explosions everywhere.
It's explosions or they live.
And so it's super 2000s. So I highly, highly recommend this movie. It was such a fun romp with, like, and it's such a fun time traveling movie. Like, when you look at the movies of today, like, especially, like, you know, serial killer movies and stuff like that, it's always dark and gritty and real, and, like, makes you, like, feel shitty. And then the soundtrack is always, like, supposed to bring you down and stuff like that until the moment where they get caught. This one is just such a fun romp through and through. Like, I had so much fun with this movie. Like, me and Dev got into it too when she was watching it with me, even though she's like, I hate it because there's never any happiness.
Why is it always miserable?
And so, highly recommend this movie. Buckets of Blood, I would say probably like a 3.5 because it's early 2000s and stuff, and it was a big screen, and I remember back then there wasn't like a whole lot of blood and gore unless it was straight up horror. And this one's more of a detective thriller horror. I'm going to give off some trivia real fast. So Reeves has stated that he was not interested in the script but was forced into doing the film when his assistant Brian forged his signature on a contract. He performed the role rather than get involved in a lengthy legal battle. He was contractually prevented from disclosing this until 12 months after the film's release. That's a little depressing because I thought he did good. He actually hated the movie so much that he didn't do any press. Oh, that's upsetting.
I feel like that's kind of like one of the reasons why he took a break from Hollywood after some point.
Yep. And so in the opening scene, Keanu Reeves dances to Rob Zombie's song Dragula while doing kung fu moves behind the green lighting. He's doing this as an homage from his Matrix movie. To Matrix. He's like, hey, I hate this film, but go watch The Matrix. It's basically what he's doing.
You should check out The Matrix. I do cool stuff like this.
The Watcher was directed by Joe Charbonnick, a buddy of Keanu, who has also filmed the actor on tour with his rock band Dogstar. I always forget Keanu Reeves is in a rock band.
I do too, honestly.
The film caused a bidding war between Universal Pictures, the now defunct Destination Films, and Warner Brothers when the distribution rights were up for grabs. Courtesy of the Pic's independent financiers, Universal ended up winning the rights, but only just edged out Destination Films.
Nice.
So, who were eager to bag the film and have a potential hit since all of their earlier films had been box office misfires. One last thing that I want to say about this movie that I actually really, really liked about it is that you could have legitimately flip-flopped Keanu Reeves and James Spader, their roles, and it still would have worked just as good.
Yeah.
I love those actors, and and seriously, like, just kind of also like how close, like, Campbell's attitude, how James Spader played Campbell was actually kind of a little bit similar to Reeves' villain. That you could have, like, seriously flip-flop them, and it still would have been the same. Oh, which is funny enough, because James Spader and Keanu Reeves previously starred with Lori Loughlin in The New Kids, 1985, and The Night Before, 1988. Yeah. Ironically, in those films, Spader played the villain, and Reeves was the good guy.
There you go.
You could have done it. So yeah, that's my review of The Watcher.
Where can they watch it?
Highly recommend it. You can watch The Watcher. Oh my god, I totally forgot where I watched it. I think I watched it on Amazon Prime for free.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna look it up too, real quick. Right now, you can watch it on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Vudu, and Amazon. You can rent it unless you have Prime for $3.99, or it's on Netflix right now.
Oh, maybe I watched it on Netflix then. I can't remember. Either or, it's fun. Give it a watch, man. It's a fun. If you need a good just popcorn movie, like, this is definitely one of those fun popcorn movies. Seeing a movie from the past,
yeah,
like, it's definitely great.
Well, bravo, man. Yeah, that's I think that's pretty tight. I like a good Keanu Reeves movie. Like, I always think of Constantine and just how well he's always done in that, and obviously like Bill and Ted, and like, I believe it or not, I still haven't watched John Wick. So
really,
yeah,
oh yeah, I think you'd love it.
You think I would have seen it by now? But
I'll let you borrow them. I have all three.
Good, you better. Mine's going to be a little controversial, and it's definitely going to put our credibility up for scrutiny, but I welcome the challenge, and it's definitely a remake. So here's the thing. I already know I just turned off half of our listeners.
Here's the thing. Hold on. I don't think it's a remake. I would say this is like a sequel.
So
I consider it a sequel because of how meta it is. So because I watched it with you.
So it's a remake, and I know I already lost a lot of people with that. But here's the thing, man. If you're here's what I'm gonna encourage you. If you're somebody that grew up with the original horror films, be open. Don't be ignorant to remakes. I know generally we've already talked about remakes and the roll the dice on that, and a lot of people just write off remakes. I know a lot of elitists do, but I'm encouraging you to expand your knowledge by opening up your mind for a moment, and let me explain to you why The Town That Dreaded Sundown in 2014 is worth your time.
Oh yeah.
So, and some people, again, if you've seen this movie and you hate it, give me a chance to explain why I love it. So, directed by Alfonso Gomez Reon and written by Roberto Aguirre Sacasa, and also written by Earl E. Smith, stars Addison Timlin, Veronica Cartwright, and Anthony Anderson, believe it or not. And
really?
The premise is, well, honestly, they get straight to the point. The long-gone serial killer seemingly returned again. Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of on the nose, I guess. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the cover of this film and just everything, the trailer, does not do it justice. I do not think
not at all.
There is far more to take away and be happy with in this movie than it just appears on, like, at face value. So one thing that I really love about this movie is that it's the whole story of, well, this town called Texarkana that both share a border between Arkansas and Texas, and there was this killer that would go around and just be killing, couples. So this is where it's like connecting to our Tuesday theme. He would hunt and stalk and kill couples, and would kill them.
Well, and also he does to this town what Richard Ramirez did to L.A.
Exactly.
and made everyone fear Nightfall.
Exactly.
So
thus the title of the movie. And so what's really cool about it is that, so if you have seen the original movie, they don't ever try to be better than the original, but they try to, in some facets, expand, but also just like hold a torch to it, because it's more so a movie honoring the original. And so it starts off with everybody at the drive-in, and they're watching the original the Town That Dreaded Sundown movie.
Yeah,
right?
I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's so meta.
And so here's the thing, man. So when it starts out, it uses scenes from the actual original 1970 film to explain the documentary style of the film. It's just a great fan service and great way to explain exposition, because there's this dreadful voice that is just like, it was like, the town has been hunted and dreads sundown. And I'm not gonna
This is now the town that dreads sundown because of the Phantom Killer.
The Phantom Killer has returned again, and it uses actual footage from the original movie to and try to make it kind of news.
You hated that beginning though, because that chick screams for so long.
But that's in the original. That's in
the original, and they showed that scene though, and I just remember looking over you and seeing you going, just kill her.
Just die. And so I love that part of it. I love that fact. And so as the movie continues on, we're following Addison Timlin's character, who plays Jamie, which, by the way, you might recognize Addison Timlin as Stormy from Odd Thomas.
So good. I love her.
Yeah, I didn't recognize her at first. I think it was the hair or something threw me off. I'm not going to really look into that.
It's because it's a dark movie, while Odd Thomas always took place in the daytime.
Yeah, that could be it too. Yep. Yeah.
Lighting.
But anyways, so she's in the car with the college, the guy that's going to go to college on a football scholarship, and they're going to Lover's Lane to make out and whatnot. And so what's really cool about it is that they do recreate a lot of the famous killing scenes from the 1977 film, but they modernize it and put their own twist on it, so it's not exactly the same. So it kind of, in some aspects, teeters on that familiarity with how Vince Vaughn in Psycho happened, where it was literally all the same thing.
Yeah, it was literally shot for shot,
Yeah.
line for line, the same movie.
And they kind of like teeter on that, but they put their own take on it. The camera style and the way they bring it to life is a lot different. The visuals definitely brings a much needed breath of tasteful, fresh air into what is technically an iconic slasher flick.
Yeah.
And so coming back into it, you know, she's in this car with him, and it's the exact opening scene from the 1977 film where killer comes, breaks into the car, and it's again modernized, so it's familiar, but it's different enough to stand on its own. And so at this point, she escapes as her boyfriend's being killed and runs into the woods, which makes the killing different in this case, because technically in the original film,
she dies.
Yeah, the person the couple dies. So in this case, she gets
I also like the twist that they did on this one, because he makes her turn around.
Yeah.
He says, "Turn around, don't look at me!"
Yeah.
You know, before he kills the boyfriend. Like, I like that twist, because in the original, he just pulls the dude out of the window and just fucking massacres him.
Yeah, so that way she can't piece anything together of who it is and whatnot. And so, like, it's really cool because, like, again, like, she just does an excellent job as Jamie. She's not, like, she's not a dumb survival scream girl in this movie. They don't write her to be that way. But they do write her in a tasteful manner for somebody who just watched their boyfriend get killed and is now being used as technically a messenger for the serial killer, because throughout the movie he is harassing her and mentally torturing her by calling her from her dead boyfriend's phone and, giving ominous messages. And as the movie continues, so there isn't really much of a plot, because it's your traditional plot of a who done it, who's the slasher, here comes the Texas Ranger to figure this out, kind of movie, and the only one that can really put the pieces together is the girl. And so it's that type of film, so there isn't a lot of that. But however, what should keep you interested is the fact that this movie is, without a doubt, without question, early on in the movie, 5 out of 5 buckets of gore.
Yeah, right from the get-go.
Yeah, it does not hold back, and I'm just like, hell yeah.
It's fucking great. Oh, that shin scene.
Yeah. And so there's also this one point where like the killings are continuing, right?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, this is like one of the few slasher fics that have some of the weirdest casting I have ever seen.
Yeah, man.
So like, not only do you have Addison Timlin, but you have Veronica Cartwright playing the grandmother, where Anthony Anderson is playing Lone Wolf Morales, which is the Texas Ranger, and then you have people like Joshua Leonard, who is Deputy Foster, and Gary Cole, who's a chief, the chief deputy. And so again, it's just, there's a lot of very interesting choices here, and it all works pretty well for the most part, honestly. And so, Gary Cole and the rest of the officers are, like Ed Lauder and whatnot, are all doubting Jamie at this point, because she keeps talking about that she's getting these calls and that she's getting these tips-offs.
He wants me to make you remember.
Yeah, and so like she's trying to like inform the cops and like get this taken care of, and we have to talk about the intelligence of police in horror movies.
They're so dumb.
So like for the most part,
well, it's small town cops. Like,
yeah,
okay, so like the cool thing about this movie, I listen to a lot of Small Town Murder, and like how they talk about the cops is legitimately how these cops act in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, that really happens too.
So they keep doubting her, and they keep like just like not taking her seriously, saying that he doesn't exist and whatnot, until Anthony Anderson, who already enters the movie as Texas Ranger, she comes to them one more time trying to get their attention, right?
Yeah.
And like again, Gary Cole's just like doubting her, and like Anthony Anderson as Lone Wolf basically is just like, hold on, you're not in charge of this investigation. We're going to treat this young lady with respect and hear what she actually has to say and take her seriously. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
About time.
Doesn't take it as a joke. Any lead could help.
Yep.
And so, Gary Cole's trying to argue with him, just like, well, we don't know if this is valid evidence. And Anthony Anderson's like, we also don't know if it's not. And until we're proven otherwise, I want to hear what she has to say. Yep.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Bravo.
Get the evidence.
Thank you.
God, how it should be.
I was really happy about that. I was just like, cool, man. Right on. Thank you.
And I also like that his character throughout the whole movie is like, I need to learn about this man. And everyone's like, nah, you don't need to learn. He's like, you shut the fuck up. Give me that movie.
He's like, I am in charge of this investigation, motherfucker.
And it's like, I'm a lone wolf for a reason, because I don't do this because you people are stupid.
Well, because early on he's like, call me Lone Wolf because I think highly of myself, and it comes off dickish at first, and then you see how the other cops are, and I was like, yeah, I could see why he's so high of himself, because he knows actually how to go throughout investigation.
He knows how to do his job.
He may be a character, but he understands what it means to like actually getting evidence and knowing what a lead is.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'll let them call you Lone Wolf. And so again, more just like interesting cast, which this might be a little biased and it's definitely subjective, if not this whole review isn't. But Dennis O'Hara's in the film, which in my opinion makes it a pro, because I love Dennis O'Hara. He's another fantastic actor, and also just like an icon in horror in general, because he's been in a lot of American Horror Story. He's been in a lot of horror movies in general, and it's Dennis O'Hara, man. Like, he's even been on a lot of podcasts that I've enjoyed that he's done voiceovers for, and like the dude is just he's a legend in his own. And honestly, him in this movie, he's not in it a lot, honestly. He's maybe in it about 3 or 4 scenes in total, and the scenes that he's in just like fantastic. Another thing that I also want to point out, though, is that so the fact that they are recreating a lot of the killings from the original movie, that should that's something that would tip somebody off to be like, oh, this is a bad movie, don't watch it. But here's the thing, they do it in such a good way that it goes into the metal. Sorry.
I mean, it is pretty metal. Those death scenes, holy shit. Like that poor girl in the hotel who jumped out the window.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was great. That shin break.
Well, see, that's what I love about it, because what you end up finding, what it mostly comes off as, because even with how meta it is, it's more like they're copycat killings from the original movie, where that's the difference. So, because keep in mind, when there's ever a copycat killer, they will always try to do the exact same way somebody killed. They would try to copy someone's MO. And so they do the same here. So one example I will give is that, so in the original movie, there's a point where like he ties up this girl and uses is it a trombone or
trombone?
Yeah.
And he kills the kid.
But in the original 1977 film, while she's tied up on the tree, he uses a trombone to kill her.
Yep.
They recreate that kill, but modernize it in a different way enough that it actually makes it feel like a copycat killing, which keeps it fresh in this like very meta way. And I love it because it's just such a risky thing to remake any horror movie, especially slasher flicks. And so they knew that. It just felt like they knew that it was going to come under scrutiny, and they're like, hey, if we're going to recreate these kills, let's make it awesome, let's do it over the top, let's make it more like a copycat killing than anything. And so that's what I love about it. So as the movie goes on, you see these killings happen, you see, them get closer and closer to figuring out who it is, until the ending finally comes up, and, Jamie's finally having to confront the Phantom Killer at this point. And I'm kind of skipping over some parts just because it's not as important to her story as it's more just kind of like stuff thrown in to keep you guessing at who the killer is.
Yeah, they do a really good job in this movie with having you making you think who could be the killer, because everyone she interviews trying to figure it out has a reason to be the killer.
Yeah.
Like each one of them. There's the one who's the dad directed the original documentary.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, he could be the killer because no one remembers him. No one only remember the film. No one remembers his dad. And then there's a couple of the cops, like the deputy. He seems like he wants to bury everything.
Yeah.
Even the sheriff is going around like he needs to bury everything.
Yeah.
Even her grandma, you're like, she could do it.
Like, grandma.
Like they kind of do a good job at making it like you don't know who it could be.
Yeah.
And the ending twist was great.
Which, by the way, I will tell you right now, unlike Devil, it is not obvious, and it's not the grandma.
It's not grandma.
Which I thought that was
we'll say we'll spoiler that. It's not grandma.
Which I thought that was the funniest thing about the movie Devil, was that everybody was like, I don't know who it is. I'm like, it's the fucking old lady.
It's the old lady.
It's the old lady. Everybody's too obvious to be it.
Mm-hmm. She's the only one oh you
She's like, I'm really Satan. Like, yeah, we know.
Fucking we know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, good job, M. Night Shyamalan. Anyways, let's talk about a good movie.
Coming back to it. So, I'm going to give a spoiler warning because I'm about to go into what the twist is. So, if you do not want this movie to be spoiled for you, which, by the way, again, if you are a fan of slasher flicks and you are a fan of the first movie, I'm going to recommend that you do skip the spoiler so that way you can still watch the movie. However, it's your choice, but I'm going to recommend you skip a minute ahead, going in 3, 2, 1. This is now the spoiler portion. So basically what ended up happening is that she's finally, running away from the Phantom Killer, gets tackled after getting out of this creek bed, and come to find out that not only was there one Phantom Killer, there was two, and one of them was actually the deputy. But the real twist was that the second killer was, in fact, her dead boyfriend, because what they did so masterly is that in the beginning of the movie, when he was getting killed,
and he said, "Don't look at me, turn around!"
That's why he had to make it look like he was killing the boyfriend, so that way they wouldn't suspect it. Yep. And what's so fucking genius about it, and makes it a little more twisted, is that the deputy and the boyfriend have no connection.
None whatsoever.
They both just kind of snapped one day.
Yep.
And so it just kind of makes you a little more uneven, because it's just like, wow.
You're like, holy shit.
It feels like a lot more at home with how psychos really are.
Yeah.
So this is the end of spoiler. If you skipped ahead, this is you're at the safe point. The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which came out in 2014, is a fantastic film, and definitely, in my opinion, and I'm willing to argue it, is a better remake than you know, a lot of others that have gotten a lot of flack before. And again, I'm just going to tell you right now to go into this one with an open mind. I really do think if you're a horror fan of any kind, or if you love slasher flicks, or if you're a fan of the original, you will enjoy this one. Of course, if you're a fan of the original, you're not going to enjoy it as much as you enjoyed the original, but like Cody said, it does feel more like a sequel in a sense than it does an actual remake. And I have to agree with that, because you can also view it in that same perspective. And again, it's just a really good, solid slasher flick, which in a time right now, there isn't many of those. Happy Death Day. And but movies like this definitely bring back that joy of like a good slasher flick of what it means to have a good one, to keep you guessing, just have a good like adrenaline ride of what's going to happen next throughout. So I recommend that you all check it out, and you just, again, give it your time. It's worth the investment to just watch this movie, and hell, I would even say it's worth the rental price. Well, really it is. I'm going to go into a couple trivia facts, but while I pull that up, you can catch The Town That Dreaded Sundown 2014 on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon Prime for a rental price of $3.99, or you can own it right now on Vudu for $14.99. Again, fantastic film all the way around. Let me go ahead and get to some trivia facts. In addition to playing Charles B. Pierce Jr. in the film, actor Dennis O'Hare also voices the narration heard at the beginning of the film. See, Dennis O'Hare, voiceover is fantastic. Yeah. The character Chief Deputy Tillman, who is played by Gary Cole, is a reference to the former real-life Miller County Sheriff's Chief Deputy Tillman Johnson. Let's see here. The character Lone Wolf Morales is a composite name between the former real-life Texas Ranger Captain Lone Wolf Gonzalez and the original movie's fictional version, J.D. Morales. The character Nick, played by Travis Tope, mentions that his mother is a patient at Trans-Allegheny. Trans-Allegheny is the name of a historic mental hospital located in Weston, WV, which ceased operating in 1994.
This is a loose remake of the 1976 film by the same name, based on the Moonlight Murders incident in Texarkana.
Oh, actually, I did not know that either.
That's what I mean. I'm like, that's why I was like, wow. I have to look this up and see if the Moonlight Murders are real, or if it's like being uber meta in its own review.
Oh, you know what? Another fun fact: just Jamie is the only character to engage in sexual acts during the film and not get killed.
Oh yeah, she did.
Go figure.
That's right. Just like Scream.
Yeah.
One of the few movies where they had sex and one of them didn't die, and they both didn't die.
And every couple he hunts down.
Yep.
Almost goes into a sexual activity he was already in and murders the crap out of them, because then like. Yeah, I won't give it away because there's some really good ones.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some really nasty kills.
But there's one that really caught us off guard that we didn't see coming. So, and neither did he.
I still can't tell if this is fucking real or not.
That what?
If The Town That Dreaded Sundown is based off of actual killings back then.
You know, no, it is.
Okay, it is?
Yeah.
Those are real.
It's based off. Like, they took inspiration.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm just like, because I'm looking at these things, I'm like, these are clips from the fucking movie, but they're real articles.
No. They're not actual, like, murders in the original movie. Like,
no, I know.
Oh,
I'm trying to see if I could find what it's based off of.
Oh, okay.
But everything I found just keeps relinking back to the movies, so I'm wondering if they went uber meta and created this entire fucking like.
Honestly,
thing.
it's worth it. Like it's such a surreal slasher flick.
I'm gonna dive in more later.
Yeah,
that's good. Shit, that made me like this movie even more.
But that is our movie review. Make the Case episode. Ghouls, Gals, Creeps, and Mutants. If you want to keep up with everything we're doing, please like us and follow us on Facebook. Search up Punk Rock Horror Podcast, or on our Twitter at @officialPRHP, or
on Instagram Punk Rock Horror Podcast #PRHP Podcast.
You can also follow me on Instagram at @TheUndeadMatt. Our website is new and updated and has new pages that are constantly being worked on, so make sure you check that out. If you want to support the show in a financial way and rep your fanness with being a fan of the show, please head over to our Teespring account and get some merch right there. We have new shirts available, stickers, everything that you're going to want and need for the upcoming seasons and the current ones. And if you just want to be a little bit more of a longer time period type of supporter, please consider going to our Patreon, patreon.com/punkrockhorrorpodcast. And even for just $2 a month, you will get access to content before anyone else, get a shout out from us, along with a lot of other cool little goodies. Ghouls, Gals, Creeps, and Mutants, thank you again so much for supporting us and for talking about us and for continuing to support us. We love the living shit out of all of you. Please be safe. Please take care of each other, and we will talk about horror with you next time.
Bye.
Bye.